there, it's Ashley Corville, owner of Complete Mortgage, with my good friend Sonia Collier with Fix It, Change It. She's our money coach that we are partnering with for 2024. So if one of your goals or resolutions is financial freedom of 2024, this is probably going to be a great series for you to get a couple of tips and tricks. And we're going to partner with some of our vendors and people that we work and trust in our business with our clients all day, every day, to really get you where you need to go. So some of it you're going to be able to do all on your own, and some of it you may need to reach out to get some expertise in it, and that's what we're here for.
Right.
So financial freedom is going to look different for everybody.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
I'm in a season of a single mama with my babies, even though they're not that little anymore, preparing for every year of Catholic school tuition, college coming up in a handful of years, trying to manage it, with only a single income, which is a pretty scary thing for a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
And you're in the season of?
My husband and I are empty nesters. We have 6 grandchildren and 1 on the way. So we're in our season of preparing for retirement and not spending too much on the grandkids.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge for sure. And look, there's lots of seasons in between us and before.
Oh, yeah.
And after us. So we're certainly not going to focus on just where we are, but a little bit of where I think everybody is, right? Yeah. I think we saw a good portion in 2023 that life got very expensive. Maybe your income has reduced. Your expenses have most certainly increased, no matter who you are, what household or season you're in.
Yes.
And I find it challenging when you see that things are getting more expensive, your life is changing, in the midst of all of that, in the middle of it, to stop and think about where your money is coming and going day to day.
Reevaluating the entire situation. The lack of financial literacy is the biggest thing. Most people, when they come to me, they're like, we have no idea where to start. We have no idea what we're doing, and we have no idea how to do it. They just don't know where to start. So the easiest way to start for 2024, your financial freedom, is get your bank statement for December and all your credit card statements if you have them, and get some highlighters. Office supplies are my favorite.
So they're going to need their full bank statements from any and all account that has money in it.
Yes.
And every credit card that you may swipe, whether or not you're currently using it or not. If it has a balance, we just want to gather it because we're going to need it for later on in the process for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. It's gathering the information. You need all the information to put into the equation so you can make better decisions about your own money.
Love that. And the highlighters, how many do they need?
So all of them.
All the colors of the rainbow.
All the colors of the rainbow. And oftentimes I have colored pens because I run out of highlighters, because nowadays we're spending on so much because everything is at the fingertips of our cell phone.
Yeah, we're definitely in the age of like instant. Now. And when you are spending money from your cell phone, it used to be just sliding your card when debit cards and credit cards got really popular 20 or 25 years ago, right?
Right.
And now it's from your phone. And so it's so instant. And it's really easy to lose track of where you're spending your money and what you're spending your money on.
Yep.
So the highlighters go with categories.
Right.
Let's break down some of the most common categories that really everyone's going to have.
So I use the green for gas, orange for eating out. Don't know why. That's what I use it for. Pink is for like your Walmart, anything you're going to do with food and toiletries, household items, laundry detergent. Okay. So Family Dollar, Dollar Tree,
Amazon.
Dollar General, Amazon, things of like that. Target, it just depends. I have to ask. Most of the time, Target is clothing.
Okay, yeah.
So I use purple.
Okay, yes.
Purple's my favorite color. So purple is clothing.
Okay.
That's kind of how I see that. I'm trying to think of, that's mostly your biggest ones. Amazon could be yellow. Just so that you know how much you're spending on Amazon. You can always go back and
Amazon
look what
could
you
use
spent.
its own little highlighter.
Exactly. Amazon I do Amazon as its own color because you don't always know what you're using it for.
Yeah. It could be a little of everything.
Could be a little bit, and people also have Scribe and Save.
Yeah, so
they have the usual that comes in. So that's another reason I highlight it separately. And then when I have a consultation, I'll go, hey, how much of this Amazon do you think is grocery and how much is something else? And so that's when we can kind of separate it, or they pull reports for me.
So let's also talk about like utilities that might hit your bank statement or membership type things like Netflix, Hulu, little apps on your phone that could be charging your account. Are those separate just so you can see them? Yeah. So, separate them out so you can see what it is, because a lot of times we are subscribed to things that are charging us monthly and we don't even know what it is or how much it is.
So oftentimes people don't look at their bank statements anymore at all. They go on their phone and they go, oh, I have money so I can spend. So there's times when I go through their bank statements and I go, do you know that you're paying $60 a month for this? And they go, oh, I stopped that back in October. Well, it's January.
Yep.
So October, November, December, you paid $60. That's $180 that you didn't realize was coming out that you thought you stopped.
And that's why it's so important. I mean, we're obviously talking about this at the beginning of the year, but like you may be catching this video in March or June or whatever. It's still a great time to sit down and do this. Look at the last month's statement to see what's charging you, no matter what time of year it is. Yep. So after they get their stuff and they get it all categorized out with highlighters, then they got to add it up.
Yes, the infamous calculating all of it. So when I do it for a client, I have a specific spreadsheet that shows how much they brought in, how much went out, and it shows them if they're negative at the end of the month or positive, and it shows them where, how. So I highlight everything: Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. And I just put it in a category on an Excel sheet. It'll say Zelle. It'll say Venmo. It'll say Cash App, DoorDash, Hulu, Disney, everything on there. It's broken down to every penny that you spend. If you go to an ATM, it'll say ATM, $500.
Yeah. And so we think about, you say, are they negative in this number? Because it's just simple math, right?
Math.
You take X amount of dollars in and you spend X amount of dollars at the end of the month, right? And you said something earlier. If your bank account has money in it, then you spend it. But that's not the same thing as, do you have enough money coming in?
Correct.
To pay everything that's going out. You may not overdraft your account, but like at some point it's going to catch you not in the right spot where you may go into a deficit or an overdraft in your bank account, or over the limit on your credit card, or need something like an emergency and not have any money to take care of it.
The emergency fund, when I first started doing this back in 2019, was $1,000.
Yep.
That was the first thing. Now it's $2,500.
Because the cost of everything, or just because you see on average with your clients, that's really how much somebody needs to set aside.
On average, okay, for example, you said you're a single mom with 2 kids. $1,000 for something is, looking at the situation now, $1,000 is just not enough.
Yeah.
You need $2,500. Your refrigerator breaks. Go somewhere and find a refrigerator. You can't get one for $1,000 unless it's in the back somewhere in the scratch, dent, and banged up that you don't mind having.
Yep.
And then it's still going to be around $1,000.
Yeah.
So emergencies are a lot of things.
Yeah.
So especially with children, we don't have small children, but we do have 5 daughters, and 3 live in different states.
Yeah. So an emergency
for us. So our emergency fund is more on the $5,000 range, because if I've got to buy plane tickets, fly out of town, rent a car, get a hotel, I'm just getting where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm just getting there.
And $5,000 may be excessive for you. Maybe $2,500 is excessive.
Sure.
And if you have 0 emergency funds,
yes,
then let's start small and start with $1,000 and build up. And we're going to have a series later on like really how to build that in a smart way. So you have, like I said, we're putting all the numbers together, what you're bringing in, what's coming out. And I would assume when you see it in black and white, I haven't done this myself. I'm going to go do it this afternoon. When you see it in black and white, a couple of things probably happen. You probably have that gut of like, oh my gosh, this is where my money goes.
I can't believe all my clients say this, because I will usually ask them questions, because before I give them the sheet, I will ask a couple of questions. How much do you think you eat out? Oh, we just do like $200 or $300 a month, not a lot. Okay, how much do you spend with Amazon? because I'll ask them those questions because those are the highest numbers. It depends. Everybody's different.
Right.
And how much do you think you spend with Amazon? Oh, we don't do that much. It's just here and there, so it's like maybe 300. And then I'll say, well, how much do you spend, you think, on
Yeah.
groceries such as, you know, your Walmart and stuff of that nature? Oh, I know we're a family of 4, but I don't think it's more than like maybe $600-700.
Right.
And then I'll go, okay, when I show you this sheet, I want you to remember it's a tool, like
Yeah.
a hammer or a wrench. And it's not to judge, blame, or shame you. It is to bring the awareness because you've called and said, hey, we don't like what we're doing.
Yep.
So let's talk about this. So when I slide that sheet across the table and you see the numbers and I highlight them for you, please don't freak out.
Yeah.
Please don't freak out. But it's the truth. And
Yeah.
this is, numbers do not lie. 2 + 2 is 4 all day, every day.
You know, anything about me, one of my favorite books is a book called Relentless by Tim Glover. And it is a business book that has these sports analogies on it. And I'm rereading it for the 3rd time. I just started yesterday, and I'm doing like 1 chapter a day, like 24 chapters or something like that. And he's a coach to some of the best basketball players in the world.
Yep.
And he's a little rough and a little harsh, so like be prepared on the language of the book if you look it up. But I was in like chapter 3 today, and he said, you'll never reach greatness if you don't know who you are. You'll never reach financial freedom if you don't know where your money's going. And I can use that same line. I wrote it down today and I put it on my whiteboard that I keep in my home office to remind myself of what it is, right? And so I can really apply that same principle to anything. I've done it like 3 times today, and it's barely 10 o'clock. So if you don't know where you are today, you'll never get to that goal. So you have to look at these numbers.
Yes.
And sit in them for a minute, right?
You have to look at them, and then you get to make the decision. As I work strictly from honesty and logic. So when I'm looking at your sheet, I'm on the outside of the box, and it's logic to me to slow down here, stop this altogether, slow down there, look at this. And then because I also have a second, I do the same sheet, but I do it from what my thoughts are.
You're
I give
unbiased,
them my unbiased,
unemotional, right?
Yeah.